You're listening to Dunestone Redemption, a podcast featuring three idiots talking about three movies that no one will probably ever listen to. The format is simple. We each pick a movie and make the other two watch it. Then we get together and talk about said films. And unless you're Margot Robbie, which I heard somebody pronounce her name Margot.
All right.
Awesome. We don't allow guests, but we do value your feedback. So find us on Facebook or Twitter, and visit our website at www.dunestoneredemption.com. Over to Othie.
I'd let her visit.
You would?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, the wife would love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was trying to think of all the movies. Now it's just in my head. Okay, so let's just start with my pick. Eric, I'll throw it over to you. My pick was The Outlaw King, which was a direct Netflix release, yet they did put it in a few theaters, and I think what Netflix does when they do that, they're looking for Oscar contention or movie awards.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I think they failed on this one.
Okay.
I really didn't like it. It was so boring to me. But I'm not
so boring to me.
It was. I'm not a historian in any sense of the word, and so I don't really like period things. But I thought, I'll give this a shot. But it just was.
And you even watched this before I selected it, correct?
I'd started watching it and I shut it off, and then you suggested it, made me sit
You had to watch
thing.
You had to watch the rest.
I had to watch the rest of it.
Dang it!
I was like, no.
You thought you were out.
Yeah,
We pulled you back in.
I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot to say about it. I just didn't think there was a whole movie there. I think that it was. It's like reading a history book to me. I did not find it entertaining. I didn't hate it. I like Chris Pine. I think he did a great job but I also don't think that they did a good job of like showing what it was really like back then. I mean, that one guy gets hung and disemboweled, and but I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about it. It just wasn't my jam. Does that surprise anybody at the table?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I thought it was fair. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was terrible or anything. Mm-hmm. To me, it felt like maybe the pilot episode of a new series I was going to watch.
I could see
and
that.
I was like, okay, what's going to happen next week? Well, that was it. That was the whole story. Kind of came to a conclusion there. And it's one of those things where, if they are dealing with the truth, you can only make it so fanciful.
Right.
But I think that is what Eric was saying is what they did is they kind of started off from the point that these guys had already had a rebellion, and they didn't show any of that and how that rebellion was crushed, so that all their hopes and dreams, I assume, were crushed with that as well.
Right.
And it didn't show you how crappy it was to live under English rule for those guys.
Sure.
And why did he kill the other guy in the church? He was just like, hey.
Die.
I was like, what the hell?
He said something, that switch flipped.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, because he went and told the king found out immediately anyways.
Yeah, it was really strange.
I'm of the opinion that anytime you end a movie with a bunch of words on the screen, you didn't do a good job of telling the story.
You didn't end it. And Robert the Bruce
he did
went on to be the Bruce.
Right. Well, I liked it, so I'm glad I picked it. But
I didn't dislike it.
You didn't dislike it? Okay. But I also like these kind of period pieces. Now, it was no Braveheart by any means, and I think they were trying for that with the trailers.
Right.
It wasn't that. But I thought it was entertaining from start to finish. Now, I know they left, like you said, with it being factual, they left a lot of the story out because they had to get it in 2 hours and be done. So I get that. But my favorite part, we got to talk about this, the opening scene, that one shot. They're outside the tent talking. They all go inside the tent talking. They come back out. They fight. They do a little joust. Go back inside the tent, and then they go back out and shoot the catapult. Now, I'm sure there's a few cuts in there, but if you watch that overall, that one cut scene, that was pretty impressive.
You could tell how they were moving around that table and stuff like that. I actually made a comment to Diane during that. I was like, that was shot really well.
I thought that was pretty awesome. In fact, all the movies that we reviewed, each one had its individual one shot that was pretty awesome. I will give them all that. I thought Chris Pine did great. Now that Stephen Dillon, or how you pronounce his name, who played the King Edward, well, that guy was awesome. He was sadistic, and I don't know.
I think it was the haircut that did it, right?
No, we're talking the dad.
Oh, the dad. Okay.
Dad, the king, not King Edward, not Prince Edward.
I got you.
King Edward. Now, Prince Edward, I didn't like at all. And so my thought on that: why didn't he not kill Prince Edward in that final battle? I mean, he beat him. Why not just kill the guy? That I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And is that factual?
Well, and I don't know. And see, and that's, I don't know how much of that is true to fact.
Right.
So.
My only cons, I felt that love story was just forced. Like,
Yeah.
She's really going to turn on her family after knowing this guy for maybe 2 months.
Right.
I didn't buy into that. And then the fight scene at the very end, like, I thought that battle was shot pretty poorly.
Well, and it seemed like it just wasn't very long. It was like,
No.
We're going to go up there and have us one dust up, and she's done.
She's done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
We did it.
Well, in the battles before, like the little ones you saw here and there, those were better than the epic battle, the finish, the third act battle. And that kind of took me out of it a little bit. But I don't know. I would recommend the movie. I liked it that much. So
I did not. I would not recommend it. I would say skip it.
Russ, what about you? Would you recommend it?
Well, I mean, it's on Netflix, so if someone's... If there's the right guy in the room that says what's on Netflix this week, and I'll say, you know what, you would enjoy Outlaw King.
Right.
So it has an audience, but I don't think it has a super broad audience.
I don't think it'll get... I mean, the reason they released it in theaters to get some nominations, I don't see it getting anything.
No.
I was wondering why they did that.
Because they're hopeful?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe some direction. I don't know. But it's no Kingdom of Heaven. It's no Braveheart. But if you like these period pieces, I liked it. So,
Yeah, I like that portion of it.
Yeah. So let's talk about Galveston. Easy, you want to start with that one? That was Russell's pick.
Yeah, I can start with Galveston. What an interesting film. It was different than anything I'd watched.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much we want to get into it. I guess, when we get into talking about these, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear the end, then don't. But
yeah, absolutely.
Right off the bat, with the robbery, I was hooked. Okay, so you were talking about the name of the guy in the movie, the actor.
Ben Foster?
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster, thank you.
See, you guys were talking last month, and I had already watched Leave No Trace.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did not like Leave No Trace.
Which is weird because on all these critic sites and stuff that I've been going on, people are putting that in their top 5 or top 10 of the year.
I see that. And once again, for me, it is so...
I'm going to have to go watch it.
Leave No Trace to me is a movie that the story could have been told in 10 minutes. I mean, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, well, with Galveston,
slow burner.
It was a completely different character. And I mean, he was quiet and reserved in both of them, but, a little bit more badass in this one, So right off the bat, when he's breaking into that place and that whole thing goes down, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I really like the relationship between him and her that develops. I did not see some of the things coming that happened. But I watched this on a plane, and I remember shutting the movie off and thinking about the ending. Mm-hmm. The scene of him walking out into the... I really liked when the daughter came.
Yeah.
There was a great connection between him and her in that scene, and they seemed to. I was going the whole time. Just tell her the truth. Just tell her the truth. And I didn't think he was going to.
Okay.
And then he did, and I was like, I thought that was great. And then the way it ended, it's, he waited all these years to do the right thing, and
I liked that he kept telling her, "I've been your friend. I've been your friend." You may think that we left, we ran off, but I've been your friend this whole time. And that's what he was. I'm jumping in here.
Yeah. Go.
So I like the film because nothing goes the way you think it's going to.
No.
Yeah.
And we've talked in the past how sometimes we don't like that.
Right.
In this case, I liked it.
Well, I don't like...
Keep tripping me up. It was good.
Is it a happy ending? Not
No.
really.
No.
Not really, but I love happy endings. I really enjoyed this movie. It was like...
Yeah, when he thought he was dying, he had an epiphany to come back and help these girls. And so he tried to help them as best he could. And in the end, doing his time... And not, I thought it was going to be, he's going to be right out of prison and he's going to murder these dudes and blah, blah.
Yeah.
No. He knew the best way to protect her
Right.
was to stay where he was and do nothing. and don't contact her. Or he was Bruce Willis from Sin City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what Bruce Willis's character was based on. But I thought he stayed true to that by not later seeking revenge, by not turning in these guys to get himself a lighter sentence and all that stuff. My only criticism about the film is Dakota Fanning needs to learn how to smoke.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Ellie. Dakota's the older sister.
Yeah.
Oh, this wasn't Dakota Fanning?
Yeah, which I've got some things to talk about her.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. She's going to have to learn how to smoke if she's going to make me believe that she's smoking.
Okay, coming from a non-smoker, I didn't catch that at all.
Oh, right, yeah. So I was just
didn't catch that at all.
I was like, what are you doing to that cigarette?
My one criticism of it was, when did this movie, the first part of this movie, when did it take place? Wasn't it set in the past?
Oh, I don't know. It was kind of one of those timeless films, somewhat, because all the cars that they're in are old.
Yeah.
All the cars are old. All the phones are old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is my criticism was, that doctor guy traces a call back to a freaking hotel on a landline.
Right.
Well, if you've got the juice to do that, you've got the juice to do that.
I understand that, but it was just, I was kind of like, that part didn't fit.
They weren't. They definitely weren't talking on cell phones and stuff. So I was thinking early '80s.
I don't think anybody had a cell phone in it.
No,
none. And so because I think that when he gets out of prison, it's modern day.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it was like 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like how they opened it with the storm and closed it with the storm too.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, that was a good picture.
Got away from that. I'm like, what the hell is that storm?
Right.
You know?
I'm like, what are they talking? I liked it. For me, it was a very slow burn though. Ben Foster, but that guy always delivers. Like we talked, he's that character actor now.
Oh, he doesn't always deliver. No.
Oh, okay, so we haven't gotten to that yet.
He does not like Leave No Trace.
I guess
so we're gonna check that out.
Now, how do you pronounce? Is it Ellie or Ellie Fanning? How do you
I think
pronounce?
it's just Elle.
Elle Fanning.
I think that's right.
If she doesn't get a nomination for that scene where she's telling him that's not my sister, that's my daughter. Yeah. That scene alone, if she doesn't get a nomination somewhere for something, I mean that girl can act, I think, better than her older sister Dakota.
Yeah,
I really do. I'm a big fan of hers. My favorite, again, I like the one shot when he escapes the warehouse. If you look at that, that was pretty cool because I'm like, man, they shot that coming down the stairs and then in between here with the lighting and then indoor to outdoor. Like that was pretty impressive. I was a little bit confused though why in the beginning he got set up.
Well, it was over a woman.
The girl.
But that's the same girl that then helped him escape.
Exactly.
Yes.
Correct.
Because that was his girl. And now the boss is dating
the girl.
Yeah. And he doesn't want the guy that she used to be with hanging around anymore.
And she's
so we're just going to get rid of
still.
you.
You can. I mean, that's what she does.
And that's why the boss was getting rid of her.
Yeah, that's why he was getting rid of her.
And you can tell when he's like, no guns on this one, that something's up.
Yeah. Well, and he took a gun anyway.
Yeah.
He knew.
Ben Foster had a gun anyway. He's like, man, I'll show you a gun.
Now, the ending for you guys, I thought he was going to just keep it, that was your sister. I didn't think he was going to say that. No, that wasn't your sister, that was your daughter. Spoiler alert. I really didn't think he was going to say that.
I was so glad he did, though.
That shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, he's going to keep the secret, because he's protecting her all this time. Why not a couple more minutes? You know?
Right.
I did not see him doing that. Cons, again, I rewatched it, because some of the things just didn't make sense, like the him getting set up and the escape. Because he's getting the hell beat out of him right 1 minute, and the next minute he just escapes like that. Like, literally, he was getting punched in the face. The guy walks out the door. She comes in and unties him.
I thought, though, he did a good job of...
Yeah, I mean, that scene was cool, but
he was all beat to hell, though, trying to get out of there.
I mean, and why did she free him? Did she still like? Why? What was?
Because she didn't want him to be killed.
Yeah,
that was her. She wasn't with him anymore. But I don't think she had a lot of choice about. Once you start dating a mob guy like that, you really can't tell him to hit the bricks.
Yeah.
Because they'll hit you with a brick.
And I get the subplot about him being sick. That kind of drove some of the things that he did, but I didn't think that was needed either.
Well, I think it was.
No, that made his... That's what... he was making his decisions. Like, he's not going to be alive tomorrow anyway.
Right.
But at that point, why even escape and do the right thing for those girls anyway? If you're not going to be alive, just go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, well, because I think he was a good guy. And he was trying to do this, I don't care about you, I'm leaving stuff.
Right.
I think it's interesting. This is the first time I think me and Russell have agreed on a movie and disagreed with Othie.
I'd recommend it to a certain group of friends, and there's a certain group of friends like, no, stay away from this one. I can just tell.
This isn't a film for my mom to watch.
No,
not at all.
Exactly.
Rusty.
But it was enjoyable. I did dig it. So.
That film was crazy.
So the last one we've got to review then is your pick. Which
Eric's pick.
I'm going to start
Thunder
with this
Road.
one, which is
Okay.
Thunder Road, because this was horrible. I'd rather watch Jungle again. This was so bad. I honestly, this Jim Cummings, I didn't realize till after I read it. He was the writer, director, and the star. And I was so over this guy in 10 minutes. I was so ready. In fact, at one point, Taylor, my girlfriend, was in the other room and I was watching this. Probably about an hour in, I'm like, if he says sorry one more time, I'm just turning it off. I'm done with this movie.
Sorry.
I didn't know why we needed this movie. I mean, this guy. There's nothing redeemable, likable about this guy, in my opinion. I want to know what he did before his mom died to make him have so many good friends, because this guy just sucks. He was like a waste of everything in space.
Wow.
The only thing I liked is when he trained himself to do the hand clap game to make that bond with his daughter.
Yeah.
But that was really the only thing. I mean, he could go from crazy to calm like that. I'll give him credit for that. But I feel like I knew people like him in high school, and I didn't like him then. I really didn't like this guy now. So I almost turned it off. Oh, I did not enjoy this one at all. Yeah, just I found no redeeming qualities in him at all. Period. I was like, this is horrible. Anyone that
None.
I wouldn't recommend this
Terrible.
to anyone.
Hated
I'd
it.
go ahead and I'd say go see Jungle. Don't see this.
Don't see that.
Don't see Thunder Roll. Go see Jungle with Harry Potter. You'll love it more. So that's my thoughts on that. That's an hour and about 45 of my life.
You'll never get back?
Yeah.
It did seem to go on very long. I wrote a few notes as I was watching it. The opening. This is like a fucked up Napoleon Dynamite.
Yep.
And then I said,
That won't work.
I said, this is a dark humor film that left humor at the front door.
Yep.
I said, the main actor is not very good.
Nope.
I'm surprised as I write this, I'm still watching it.
Yeah.
So, we cut to the end, and the film gets over.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife is watching it with me. And I said, ugh, what did you think of that film? She goes, I really liked it.
And why? This is what
And I was
wanna
like,
know.
what? And I said, why did you like that? She said, listen, he's messed up.
Yeah.
He's got some issues.
Well, yeah.
And he probably had a lot of them before this, but his mother dying has just completely pushed him over the edge.
That's what I thought.
He
too.
doesn't know how to communicate his feelings. He doesn't know how to talk to people. He's probably a little Aspergery.
Yeah.
And it's a
absolutely.
film about him trying to figure out how to make these connections and be a regular person again.
Okay.
You know, and I was like, I did not get that.
No.
You're amazing. You've made me think of it in a very... So I did sat there and thought about this film in a very different way after that. I still wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Because...
That's kind of the same thing I said. I go, I wonder what he did before his mom died to have all these good friends. Because he had them and they stuck with him when he was a complete jerk. The only two, I guess I had two redeeming qualities. Like you said, the very first shot and the funeral, that was a pretty awesome one shot. That kind of kept me entertained. And then he also had a pretty sweet windbreaker on
Yeah,
for a
he
little
did.
bit in the movie.
Yeah, he
so
did.
that's the only two good things.
So, Mr. Schaefer,
Okay, so
this was your choice.
let me explain some things to you guys that...
Let me ask you this before you start in. Did you watch this before you recommended it to us last month?
Yeah.
Yes.
You were like, I'm going to screw these guys over.
You are a
Watch
jerk.
this.
You are a jerk.
Watch
Okay,
this.
so here's what I did. I spent a lot of time in November looking at all these movies that were the top 25 from Rotten Tomatoes and just different lists, because I wanted to see what people were watching. You know, I'm more of a guy that likes to watch the action movies and comedies, and so I'm like, okay, I'm going to expand. This was on a lot of lists. Don't ask me why. Would I say that I liked it? It's got a 7.2 rating on IMDb.
That's crazy. That's insane.
So I'm not saying that I hated it, but I didn't like it either. It was like, okay, well, this is just one of those films I wanted to talk about, because that opening scene to me, it is. You've seen somebody have a real life meltdown.
Oh yeah.
Right in front of you.
He is having a nervous breakdown.
He is.
It
That
is.
boombox won't work. I
Yeah.
kept laughing.
Well, it'd be better if it was working. I'm sorry. You know if it was working.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know, I just,
Should I go inside? I'm sorry.
No, baby, don't. No, just Daddy's okay.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god.
That scene for me, I was like, okay, I gotta watch the rest of this movie.
Right.
I mean, it was. Now the rest of it. I mean, the friend in it. That was a redeeming thing to me. Was that guy that just came over and, hey, we're just gonna get drunk.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have anything to offer you other than let's get drunk together.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. The other thing I liked was when the wife dies. And he goes in the house and smacks the shit out of her.
The ex-wife. Let's say the ex-wife.
His ex-wife.
And he did not kill her. He didn't kill her.
Passed away, and his daughter's future husband, he smacks her.
Yeah. I mean, I laughed so hard at that scene. You know, there were other things that I enjoyed, like when he locks his keys in the truck.
And he's yelling at the new
cop.
Are you Brad? Are you Brad?
Break the window. So... It felt like it went on forever.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see your guys' opinion on it because I watched the whole thing through. I love what you
said. It was Napoleon Dynamite because that's kind of what I'm seeing, but not good.
It's like a screwed up Napoleon Dynamite.
The dance scene.
No, I'm
the whole movie. Really.
I would say that the whole movie. It's a bad Napoleon Dynamite.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not saying that I recommended it to you guys because it was like.
You hate us?
No, it was an interesting film.
You were like, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get these guys on the phone and see if they can tell me what happened.
I mean, the other movie that I
watched a crappy film.
I watched a lot of, which we'll talk about later on about some of the things I watched last month that were different, and I was like, these guys wouldn't like this, they wouldn't like this. And I got to this, and I'm like, I really wanted to know your all's opinion. I got it now.
You were like, maybe Russell would like this.
I didn't think you would like it. I thought he'd like it.
You thought Elsie would like it?
More than you. But it was... Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I recommend it to anybody. So, sorry if you watched it, but... Yeah.
All right, so overall, Outlaw King, mediocre, we all found. Yeah. I think Thunder Road, overall, I don't think any of us would recommend it. I think we'd all recommend Galveston, though, for sure.
Yes.
Galveston's a pretty good one, yeah.
Okay. I agree.
Pretty good little
film.
And
where did you find that one? Where did you hear about that movie?
Just from watching trailers.
Okay.
You saw it?
Yeah, there's a FilmRise. You can go to filmrise.com, and they have a lot of trailers for like independent films and things on there. Mm-hmm. They have like different genres, and so I've just been looking at the independent ones, and because we're going to hear about the next Avengers.
Oh yeah.
We're going to get plenty of exposure on that. But there's a lot of other films and stuff that they don't get the marketing push and things like that behind them. That I think that's what we're trying to do is see some of those. So.
Sure. What was that site again? That website?
That was
RISE.
filmrise.com.
RISE. Yeah. Filmrise.com.
Well, Russell, while you're talking, how about what is your pick for us to review in January next month?
January is Bird Box.
And why did you pick Bird Box?
Because I watched it and it's good.
Okay.
And I want to see what you guys think about it.
I've heard a lot of people chattering about it.
Yeah.
It's all over my freaking Amazon when you bring up the Amazon right now. I am not Amazon.
Netflix.
Yeah.
It's on the top of everything.
And there's a lot of memes already I've seen.
A Netflix film,
That's where I've seen it.
Especially with the Kansas City Chiefs and defensive coordinator. It's all that, too.
There's a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I want to see what you guys think about it because... Well, I'm not going to review it here right now or whatever, but I do want to get your guys' opinion on it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Easy, what's your pick for next month?
I'm starting the Oscars push. One of our things that we do is watch all the Oscars movies. So I kind of looked at the list of Golden Globes. I know it's a little bit more mainstream, but the one that I came across was Black Klansman, Spike Lee, joint. And so that is my suggestion.
Have you already watched it?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Okay, well, my pick is Peppermint, and I picked that because before we started this blog or even this website, that was the first one we were going to do and go see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, Will wanted to anyway, so that'll be an easy one to pick. So
And that is Jennifer Garner.
It's been on her mind for a while.
Yeah, she's kind of done wrong by this court system and take the law into her. And I'm not a big fan of her, so I'm kind of surprised that I picked it, but I kind of do want to see it, so we'll see.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Do we have a documentary pick for next month? And just a spoiler alert here, or newsflash, we could not find Marwan Call anywhere. I found that YouTube thing where they showed some clips and the director kind of broke it down and stuff. And I would think with that Welcome to Marwan coming out, the theatrical version, of the retelling of that story, that they would make that thing readily accessible somewhere. The only thing I found it was like Vudu or someplace like that for like $25.
Yeah, you could buy it for Vudu for, I think it was $19.99 or something.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's out of our budget. We're not quite sponsored yet.
Yeah, exactly.
If you'd like to sponsor us, go to our website.
Can I make the suggestion for next month?
Do it. If we're doing a documentary, yes.
Documentary?
Were we going to do Bill Murray?
That's what, yeah.
Okay.
So there's one called The Bill Murray Stories, Life
Yes.
Lessons Learned from the Mythical Man. And I watched the trailer again a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh, we haven't talked about that for a while.
And where can that be found?
That's on, I think it's on Netflix, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. It's $4 on YouTube.
Okay. There you go. I've seen that on stuff.
Prime,
so.
it's $3 on Prime, so we can get a hold of that.
Bingo.
So,
yeah, I don't mind paying $5 or $6. All Blockbuster rates the crap out of a movie.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You keep me in the $5 and below with no late fees. Hey, that's great.
$10, I ain't watching it.
Yeah, if it's $10, I'm gonna go to the movies.
Yes.
You know.
But I'd spend $10 to see Bill Murray.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Bill
Absolutely.
Murray
Yeah.
does, so.
Absolutely.
All right. So to recap, we've got Black Klansman, we've got Bird Box, Peppermint, and then our documentary will be the Bill Murray one.
The Bill Murray one. Yep.
Do you want me to give it the full title of that? I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
Well, that's okay.
The full title of the Bill Murray one, it's called The Bill Murray Stories, Life Lessons Learned from a Mythical Man. And it's all about, he goes into these parties, from what I've seen, and they go back the next day to these people that he went to the party and how he influenced or changed the whole atmosphere or mood of wherever he's at. He's kind of like that guy, that big persona. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'll be
Absolutely.
awesome.
That sounds cool.
Awesome.
All right. I think that wraps up this segment.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll be dropping this here pretty soon. Again, follow us on Facebook. Look for Othie on Twitter. He's pretty much handling all of our Twitter tweets. Is
Yes.
what you call them?
You can
Tweeters.
Because we've got a new handle here. Let me get that up real quick.
Get the new handle. And we, you can always check out our website. We're trying to keep it updated as much as possible. www.dunestoneredemption.com.
And on Twitter, we're at Dunestone Films. That's at DUNSTONFILMS. Yeah, just at Dunestone Films.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's us on
Yeah,
Twitter.
and I'll start throwing that on the Facebook and stuff too. And
Cool.
yeah, that'd be good.
Hashtag Dunestone Films, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, hashtag it.
Absolutely.
We're trying to figure out how those work.
Yep.
We're learning.
All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.